We all have those special movies, the ones that a lot of people don't like, but for some reason we just love. In this video, I will be giving you my top 10 favorite guilty pleasure movies. This is my personal list, but I want to know your guys' picks down below in the comment section. You can do anywhere from like 5 to 10 movies. If you want to say like 15, 20, that's awesome. I want all your thoughts down below in the comment section. So I'm going to kick this thing off with a couple of honorable mentions. My honorable mentions are Jennifer's Body, Eurovision Song Contest, The Story of Fire Saga, and the 2005 remake, War of the Worlds. My number 10 is Can't Buy Me Love. This movie stars Patrick Dempsey, and this is a movie that is about young love, about a boy who buys a girl. Yep, that's a horrible, horrible plot. This movie has a lot of charm, it has a lot of heart. Amanda Peterson, who stars opposite of Patrick Dempsey, is absolutely charming in this movie. I really found her performance to be really great. I think she had a great young career ahead of her. She was gorgeous, and unfortunately, due to certain things that happened in this young woman's life, she left the Hollywood scene and really just had a very disturbing life, and she passed away just a few years back. But this movie really warms the heart. The only thing I can't buy about this movie is that Patrick Dempsey is a nerd. Like, come on. No, this guy could never be a nerd. It's a very endearing movie that has a lot of charm to it, and I find myself to really enjoy it every time I pop it in and watch it. My number 9 is what many would consider a John Carpenter classic, and that is Big Trouble in Little China. This movie is a guilty pleasure. It's not necessarily good. The CGI is dated. Kurt Russell, his mullet in this movie maybe isn't so outlandish, but the thing I love about this movie is that it has a lot of action, and there are some really fun moments with this film. The movie does lose itself a little bit as it does get a little dull and a little stale, but you can have a lot of fun with this film, and I think Carpenter was trying to make something that was a little bit more action-packed than a lot of the horror films that he was doing around this time. So I really do enjoy Big Trouble in Little China. It's one when I was a kid that I would put in a lot and just have a fun time with and watch it with my siblings and just look at Kurt Russell's mullet and just be like, I want to be him. My number 8 is an Eddie Murphy comedy, Norbit. Yeah, this movie is awful, but I just like it for some reason. I thought this movie was so funny when I was a kid. I haven't seen it in years, so now I'd probably hate it. This is what I would consider a hardcore guilty pleasure because I know a lot of people absolutely hate this movie and loathe it, and I get it. The jokes aren't really that funny, but to me, sometimes they are funny. And the fact that Eddie Murphy puts on a fat suit and plays Rasputia is saying a lot. I mean, he really goes out there to try to get a laugh. He really tries to pull from everything he can in his back pocket, and sometimes it lands, and a lot of the time it doesn't. And that's unfortunately the situation with Norbit. Not a good movie, probably would hate it now, but it's on this list because I watched this movie at least a dozen times when I was a kid. My number 7 is Alien versus Predator. I know that this movie gets a lot of hate. I know that the movie is rated PG-13, which is a lot of the big problem because really the action and the violence of both of these franchises really stand out, and to really water it down kind of takes away from the surprise and the elegance and the thing that we love so much about this franchise. But bringing these two different characters together I thought was really fun, and it was almost like bringing these horror icons to the big screen. However, one of the big issues with this movie is that this movie, it doesn't really have a good sense of story. Like, they did not construct a good story in this film. It's very boring for like the first 25 minutes, but I like it. I've always found myself to really enjoy this movie. It's way better than that piece of garbage sequel, Alien versus Predator Requiem for a Dream or whatever it was called. Awful movie. This one, not great, but I do have a lot of fun with Alien versus Predator, and even though it's PG-13, I can kind of get past that a bit and just enjoy it for what it is, which is stupid fun. My number 6 is Batman Forever. That's right, Batman Forever, the one where Jim Carrey is the Riddler. I like this movie, unapologetically. Like, I truly enjoy this movie. It's bad. It's bad, but not Batman and Robin bad, where it's just bat nipples and, rubber suits. This movie, to me, just felt wrong. The casting was wrong in every sense of the word. I think that the movie tries to be over the top and tries to go for a more comedic route. But I will say this, Joel Schumacher, at least in this movie, was not so convinced about trying to sell toys for this film as much as he was with Batman and Robin. So I can really have a fun time with this movie. It's really stupid. It's really dumb. This is where the Batman character just completely nosedives from where Michael Keaton gave us 2 renditions of the Batman. My number 5 is Swiss Army Man. I've talked about this movie a couple times on the channel. This is not a movie that I would say is a artistic movie, to say the least. It's very weird, very different. You have to understand the humor, because I think that this movie, a lot of people look at it at the surface, it's dumb because there's fart jokes and there's really stupid things that happen. This movie, I think, is a lot smarter than a lot of people give it credit for. Paul Dano is great in this movie, but Daniel Radcliffe as Manny the Dead Body is amazing. It's stuff you have to witness, and just because of Daniel Radcliffe's performance alone, I think that this movie really deserves a spot on this list, and it deserves to be within the top 5. Coming in at number 4 is The Amazing Spider-Man. I don't understand really the hate for this movie. I get the fact that it's another remake of a character that we know extremely well. Yes, we see Uncle Ben die again. Yes, he goes to school and has problems again. But I'll say this, Andrew Garfield is a good Spider-Man. He's definitely the weakest of the 3 that we've had in live action form, but I think that Andrew Garfield was able to convey more of an emotional connection to the character of Spider-Man and Peter Parker. And I think Andrew Garfield doesn't really get the credit that he deserves, because I do think that he does really give solid performances with a script that he's given. And Emma Stone as Gwen Stacy is very convincing. I really love her in the role. I think she was the star of both of these films. And it's unfortunate we never got a third one, but I am happy that we do have Tom Holland in the role now. And I think that this movie gets some unnecessary hate. Coming in at number 3 is Fantastic Four from 2005. Yes, the Chris Evans, Jessica Alba version of the Fantastic Four. I like it. I've always liked it. The Fantastic Four really have never been given that golden opportunity on the big screen, but I've always found myself to really enjoy this one. I think Chris Evans is great in it. I love him in this role because he's so cocky and confident. Jessica Alba, total babe. I mean, it's got everything that I want. I know we're not going to get the Fantastic Four for a while, and I'm okay with this one kind of being the golden child that we have at this point for these characters. Number 2, Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers. This movie has been panned by critics. It has like a 29% or something on Rotten Tomatoes, maybe even less. I love this sequel. This is my favorite Halloween sequel by far. I think this movie is very, very pretentious. Certain things that they try to do, to me, completely work. I understand a lot of people don't like what they do with certain characters in this movie, but I love what they do with Michael. They bring him back and they make him visceral. They make him scary. Maybe not like Halloween 2018, but he really is a force to deal with. And I think that he comes back with a vengeance. He comes back with true revenge. And this is the sequel that I've always loved because I love going back to this movie. I love the aesthetic of it. I think it looks absolutely amazing. It looks like a true, genuine Halloween film. And I really, really love the character of Rachel. One of the best final girls, in my opinion. I'll probably do a video at some point, like top 10 final girls in slasher movies at some point in time. But she's definitely going to be in that list. Probably like top 2, to be honest. She's so good. And the fact that they kill her off in Halloween 5 pisses me off to this day. And my number 1, Star Wars Revenge of the Sith. Look, I'm wearing a Star Wars Darth Vader shirt. I love Revenge of the Sith. I know a lot of other people who really like Revenge of the Sith, but there are a lot of people who hate the prequels. They hate all of them. I don't like Attack of the Clones or Phantom Menace, but I love Revenge of the Sith. This movie is funny to me. You can watch this movie and have a very good time. It's one of the Star Wars movies, like one of the few Star Wars movies you could put in at any time and just really sit down and enjoy it. This movie has a lot of great action. It's got awesome comedic scenes that aren't supposed to be funny, but I think they're hilarious. And the movie has a beautiful glossiness to it. Like, this movie to me is when CGI was really taking off. This is the peak moment of CGI because the CGI in this movie looks really, really good compared to Attack of the Clones and the mess that is the Phantom Menace. And I really like Hayden Christensen as Anakin Skywalker and his descent to becoming the greatest character in movie history and in any form of entertainment medium history, Darth Vader himself. Love Revenge of the Sith. I will never not love Revenge of the Sith. It is one of my all-time favorite Star Wars films, and that's just how it is. That is my list. I want to know your guys' list down below in the comment section. What did you think of my list? What would you have placed differently? Let me know all of that down below. Make sure you guys drop a like on the video if you enjoyed it. If you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing to the channel to join the community, and we talk about rankings like this all the time. Thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, I'll see you guys in my next video. Peace.